Hello, I'm Monica. I'm a public speaking coach, and I'm here to share with you a challenge that I have decided to take on. For the next 7 days, starting today, I'm going to share with you content, knowledge, and tips which have helped me to break the fear of public speaking. Why am I doing that? Well, as you can notice, I'm a non native English speaker, but I'm a public speaking coach in a second language. How is that possible? Well, I learned that whatever is the language that you speak, even it's your native language or not, if you hold back your opinions, your knowledge, your stories, your emotions, and you have a hard time expressing what are the boundaries, the limits that you want to put in place, looking after yourself, in the short, medium, and long term can be detrimental for your mental health and for your physical health. So I would love to prevent that, and that's why I decided to do this challenge. So I hope you really enjoy this content and stay tuned for the next 6 days as well. So I want to share the first tip today, and it is awareness. I became really aware through a lot of introspection, knowing myself, to find what was the fear that was holding me back. And I learned that public speaking is considered the biggest fear in the Western world, more than death. Can you believe it? That people rather to die than speaking in public and face an audience. That was me. Is that you? Well, with that awareness, I learned that there are three basic fears that we can have. Some people can have one, two. In my case, I had the three of them. The first one is fear of judgment. The second one is fear of failure. And the third one is the fear of success. So let's break down a little bit each one of them. The fear of judgment is because we don't want to be criticized. It's so normal that as human beings, we don't want to feel rejected. We want to belong, we want to be accepted. That's a primary emotional need. Be loved and accepted the way we are unconditionally. But if we are in a new environment, if we don't have our self-esteem reassured, we sometimes doubt about ourselves, and we are very overconscious of how people are going to perceive us. Maybe they're going to laugh at us. Maybe they're going to critique how we speak, how we express. And especially if you're a non-native English speaker, you are very mindful that your pronunciation is perhaps not the right one. You have an accent. You have a lack of vocabulary. Even if English is your first language, maybe you just don't have enough words to express yourself. So there are many things that you can do there. But the first one is face reality. Reality is that not everyone is going to like you. There are 8 billion people in this world, and it's perfectly normal that not everyone is going to align with your message. But when you address to other people with respect, but you care about their benefit, but you don't care about the way that they're going to perceive that because you don't have control of that, then you start realizing that there are going to be people who will resonate with you and people who will not. And it's up to them if they want to continue following you, or they might want to follow people who resonate with them. But you will have an audience. You will have an audience similar than you that want to know and learn from you, that want your services, that want your products, want to know about your experiences. They want to model you. And that's the people that you will address. So become aware Do your introspection, your reflection. Is that the fear of judgment that is holding you back? The second fear is the fear of failure, which is a perfectly normal fear as well, because we don't want to make mistakes. We want to avoid not to be right, because as well, based in the science, we want to be loved, accepted. And when we feel that we're doing the right thing, then we tend to believe that people are going to want us or like us. Reality is that there's no failure or no mistakes. When you learn something new, it's okay to be clunky at the beginning. And those are just learning opportunities, learning experiences which are going to take you farther in your journey, whatever it is, what you're going to do. And there are two good examples that come to mind. The first one is when you are starting to walk, when you are a little toddler, 1 year old. You're not going to be worried about falling down. You just fall down and get back up again and continue trying, which research shows that it takes around 200 times to learn a new habit or a new skill. And that little one that were you once, you never worry about failure or mistakes when you were starting to walk. You just get up, back up, and continue trying until you nail it and you started to walk. And perhaps you don't remember that, but that feeling of satisfaction was ingrained in your unconscious mind, and you can feel that again. It's just not to be overconscious that you can make a mistake. Another example is when doctors start performing surgeries. There will have to be a first time, always. They weren't born knowing how to perform a surgery. Perhaps some people are more natural in those skills, but it's something that you can learn. And first you will have to learn theory and the science of that. The second time you will have to look other people performing surgeries to learn the techniques. And third, when you start doing it, that very first time, you will have to have a mentor or a teacher, another doctor as a coach to guide you through and prevent you to make mistakes, especially because you're handling another human being's life, right? Later on, after sometimes that you're guided and coached or mentored, you learn to do it by yourself. It will become second nature, just like driving. And then with more experience, one day you will become the one guiding a newer generation of doctors. So it's exactly the same with public speaking. If you don't share the very first time, you will keep holding yourself back, sharing what you know. Imagine if doctors would be thinking about, the failure, the feeling of failure, the fear of failure. They wouldn't perform surgery at all, and we wouldn't have doctors at all. And the little kids, if they would be mindful about, failure, we wouldn't have learned to walk in the first place. So start that first surgery, start that first walk. You're not gonna kill anyone, you're not handling a life in your hands when you do public speaking. That's the reality. So be mindful if that's your fear. And the third fear is the fear of success. When you know that you could be so successful, it could be so good what you have to share, that you can become overwhelmed with the response. And you fear that maybe you're not going to know how to handle, that it's going to be just too stressful. Reality is that holding yourself back is hard, and doing public speaking can be hard, but you have to choose your heart. Both things take an effort, but the first one, holding yourself back, can be detrimental for your mental health while learning to communicate assertively can be so positive for your emotions, for your healing, for finding your inner voice and share it with other people. That reminds me an example of a house that is full of presents, full of gifts. They're all wrapped nicely and ready to be given to other people. They're inside the house, but the house is locked. That house is yours. You have a lot of presents to give to others. Those presents are your experiences, your stories, your knowledge, your services, your products. You, unique you. And the key that opens that door of the house is public speaking, assertive communication, be able to share what is inside. So if that's the fear that you have so many gifts that you know it will be so good to share them, but you're feeling the fear, imagine all the people that are successful in their own way. They are especially the ones that are living their passion. Imagine all the gifts that we have received from so many authors, from so many people who have impacted our life. If they would have held back, scientific people, scientists, writers, doctors, psychologists, anyone who has impacted your life, anyone who you have learned from, what would be the result if they wouldn't have done that? Knowledge wouldn't have been transferred to others. We wouldn't have learned so many things that we have learned. So this is the time, if that's your fear, to decide if you want to share that. Choose your heart. So I hope that you are more aware of which one is your fear. Judgment, failure, or success. And decide what to do. If you resonate with this content and you want to know more, just do a hashtag in the comments with resonate or hashtag more. I would love to talk and have a chat with you about this and in anything that got you interested in this topic. But more than that, I want to invite you to continue following me, share this content with people who can benefit with, and follow me for the next 6 days of this challenge to share more tips if you found this useful. Thank you so much for listening today, and bye until tomorrow.